Hi guys, thanks so much for stopping by. I will be doing a movie review and this is entitled The Shining. So this is rated R. This runs for 2 hours and 26 minutes, drama horror, and released back in June 13, 1980. I almost said 20, but 1980. A family heads to an isolated hotel for the winter where a sinister presence influences the father into violence, while his psychic son sees horrific forebodings from both past and future. I'm sorry, I'm dyslexic. I'm sorry about that. So this is rated 8.4 out of 10 stars on IMDb.com. And so I remember I saw this a few years ago. Totally petrified, and I didn't remember much from it, and that could be due to, I think it's because, from multiple head traumas just this year alone, and including the one that I never healed with from 2016. So I have amnesia, and as well as long-term and short-term memory loss. So I don't really, what I do remember is I watched this movie and it had Jack Nicholson in it, and basically that's it. So I rewatched this with my husband because I was worried I was going to be very scared. And what I do remember, I watched this the first time was I was petrified out of my mind. However, watching this now the second time around I believe with fresh eyes, just because I didn't remember anything aside from Jack Nicholson. He had a wife and a son, and I think that was pretty much it. And then it was scary, and that's it. So I watched this, and oh my god. I think my husband got a lot of trivia things in it because he really, really loves this movie, and he's always been nagging at me with it every couple months. Do you want to watch The Shining? Do you want to watch The Shining? And I always tell him no. And then I was just I can't stop thinking about wanting to watch The Shining, and maybe it's the time of the year. I don't know, but so we watched it, and wow. Wow. I totally get it as a psychological point of view of and also I think the ending was the creepiest thing. I'm not gonna do any spoilers, don't worry about that, but the ending I think is the creepiest thing. It's creeping me out right now. And it took me a while to actually do this review. It gave me a few days because I was so petrified after watching this movie. I feel this movie, you could always watch it on Halloween or any time of the year that you feel you want to be scared out of your mind. Yeah, it's definitely one of those. I give this a 2 thumbs up, and I also would rate this. I would give this a 5 out of 5 stars. I think the way this story and just the story was just incredible. This has a lot of paranormal as well as psychological reactions to it, and you can it really does, it's very understandable in regards to when you're isolated. It does give you cabin fever and things like that, and it makes you, because you're not used to physical social interactions with people, it makes you just not care, and you see that how it evolves in a person. And the no sleeping also, because you have to think when you interact with a lot of people, your mind really is working a lot. And I didn't really know all of this until I actually had my multiple head concussions, and it was my therapist, my concussion therapist, that actually said, and my doctors too, they actually said every kind of effort you do, if even you believe you're not thinking, for example, you're waking up, your brain is working. So if you have a disability like I do right now, when you have a disability, I say right now because I'm really hopeful that, I will get over it and I will heal completely, but, I'm still not there. But what I mean is that if I wasn't in this position, I really wouldn't understand this movie more. It just feels like it was meant to be, I saw this movie in a different way. when you wake up, when you're in front of your computer, you are like burning mental energy like to the extreme. When you are on a phone and on a tablet, that's even more extreme than a computer. And the least out of all the electronics that you're watching and interacting is the TV, because it's further away and you're not actually using a mouse to navigate. Usually it's just a remote, and the remote is just to navigate if you want to watch this or not. So you're really not utilizing that part of it completely, versus if you're on a tablet or on a phone, you're always using your fingers, your hands, and stuff like that. And apparently that takes a lot more effort than just sitting there and watching. It's so simple, isn't it? But it does. So it does put into play into the story, because he's there being a caretaker, and there's really not much to do if there's not a lot of people there. Like, you're really not gonna do a lot of things, because there's not a lot of upkeep. There's not a lot of maintenance on a daily basis. Just a little bit of check here and there for one thing, and all that stuff. So because you're not really putting that much effort, and then the isolation to add that into aspect, and then the no sleeping, the small human interaction, and then the drinking doesn't help. Just so you know, when you're in this kind of situation, drinking doesn't really help, because alcohol magnifies some negativity, because it's a downer. So it magnifies negativity, and what it does is, like, let's just say if you're sober versus if you are drinking, and it's the same situation, like someone had like a little comment, right? And you're taken aback, and then you laugh about it. If you're drinking, it's magnified. You get very upset to the point that some people like dig their heels in and they actually get pretty angry. So there's a big difference in there. So psychologically, and then you add the alcohol, and then you add the paranormal activity in the place, like Jack didn't have a chance. It was just wow. Just the perfect storm for that. It was just that. If you've never seen The Shining, I recommend it 100%. I give this, I definitely recommend this movie. I give it a 5 out of 5 stars. Brilliant, just scary in a lot of different ways. And if you guys have other suggestions in movies I might probably enjoy, it doesn't have to be a scary movie, but like a good movie, with real depth and substance and stuff like that. And of course the dialogue is amazing. Let me know down below. I love hearing from you guys, and I love watching your recommendations. Thank you so much, and I'll see you guys again next time. Bye.